So I wanted to give a little sneak peek of my course Under Pressure that I'll be teaching in Hamburg, Germany on September 27th and 28th. If you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, but this should give you a good overview. So we're going to start with section one, which is pressure management, respiration, assessment, and shape change. I'm going to be giving you tons of visuals so you can understand more about what this actually means and how we can relate it to common concepts that we may already know to make it easier. So we're going to go through tons of visuals so you have a really good understanding of how these things manifest themselves and the underlying theory behind them. But we're going to jump right into the assessment early on in the first day. And we're going to learn how to test this. You're each going to have your own workbook. And in that workbook, you're going to have a guide to tell you what is happening in your own body. So you can learn by actually assessing yourself and assessing others in the course. I think that's really, really important. We'll talk about things like the infrasternal angle, and we'll talk about a toe touch test, what it tells us, a toe touch to squat, overhead reach, an Apley's test, rotation, seated and standing, what all of this means. And then we'll do a breakout and we'll go through the assessment together. We'll do it on ourselves and we'll do it on each other. And then in section two, we're going to go into stacking, creating relative motion, shape change drills, and what in the world this kind of right turn or common asymmetrical presentation that we see, and different compensation patterns. So once we do our breakout in section two, we're going to actually talk about how to create shape change of the pelvis and the rib cage. So those things can create a stack that allows for better pressure management, but then how we increase relative motion throughout the body. And we'll go through my sort of model of this right turn compensation pattern and different possibilities for this pattern. Then in section three, we're going to go over the big movement patterns. So we're going to talk about a squat and a hinge and pushing and pulling and how we can sort of optimize these movements using cues and constraints. And then we're going to coach all of those things on each other and learn a little bit more about it. We're going to also go through reaching and coach different reaching drills, pushing, pulling, and where we can, you know, orient ourselves in order to improve range of motion. Then in section four, we're going to go through lower limb mechanics, common foot presentations, and co-contractions. So we're just going to understand more about how the foot, the tibia, and the femur move, and then common presentations that we'll see from the bottom up. And then we'll go through how to improve that range in our breakouts. So we'll learn about taking motion away, but also we'll have a breakout about integrating the foot, being able to connect to the foot, finding pronation and supination. And we'll be doing all of this in breakouts so that we can really learn by doing. Section five is going to be the final section on day two. We're going to learn all about connective tissue, yielding and overcoming exercise selection framework. So how can we create a lens for training that respects what those properties can do to our connective tissue, our tendons, our ligaments, our joint health, basically. And then we're going to go through many different exercises within this exercise selection framework, which is my own kind of framework that I created for myself just to have buckets and talk about how you can create your own. We'll have tons of exercise examples. All of these are going to be included in your workbook with links to different YouTube videos so that you can always go back and look at it. And then finally, at the end of the day, on day three, we are going to go through a participant case study. So somebody in the course can be our case study. We're going to work through it from the beginning of the course all the way to the end and put it together and talk about programming for a person to actually encapsulate everything that you learned over the weekend. So if you have any questions about the course, you're curious about something specific, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope this was helpful for you.